Is load shedding over, or is it all just a lie? Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to News in 5. I'm your host Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm sure a lot of South Africans have noticed that load shedding has eased quite a bit. This is the first time we've consistently had no load shedding for a number of days. What is going on? When you Google, you get headlines like this. Great news about Eskom's performance and load shedding. Major Eskom turnaround milestone. Good news for Eskom's Koeberg nuclear power station.
I don't trust it.
Sounds great, but then you get these headlines as well that are in the mix. Western Cape total blackout risk increases. Total Koeberg shutdown risk increases.
Confusing.
So what is going on here? Well, let's have a look at this one. Total Koeberg shutdown risk increases. The risk of both nuclear reactors at Eskom Koeberg nuclear power station in the Western Cape province of South Africa shut down simultaneously for life extension continues to increase. Unit 1 at Koeberg is now expected to be synchronized to the grid by 30th October 2023 and to return to commercial operation at full output by 13th November 2023 after increasing the output through different power levels and performing the associated commissioning tests. The shutdown of 970 megawatts, Unit 2 at Koeberg, will therefore also be delayed, if necessary, until after the commissioning of Unit 1 is complete and stable commercial operation is achieved. This is to avoid a situation where both Units 1 and 2 are down at the same time. After the return to service on the 13th of November, Unit 1 is scheduled for a further 200-day shutdown commencing on 21 July 2024. The same day that the current operating license of the Koeberg nuclear power station expires. This would appear to indicate that the National Nuclear Regulator, NNR, may not be in a position to grant an extension of the Koeberg operating license when the current Koeberg operating license expires on 21 July 2024. Eskom has applied to the NNR for separate expiry dates in the Koeberg license for Unit 1 and 2 based on the rationale that Unit 2 was commissioned about 18 months after Unit 1. Eskom is still awaiting a decision from the NNR in this regard. If the NNR decision in respect of a separate extended expiry date in the Koeberg operating license for Unit 2 is not granted, then it is possible that both Unit 1 and Unit 2 may have to shut down on 21 July 2024.
Oh, come on!
Okay, so I think this article is a little bit of an exaggeration. I mean, it's obvious that the licenses will be granted, at least I hope so. I very highly doubt that it won't be, and here's why. Based on the headlines that I showed you earlier, it's very clear that the PR companies of the ANC, i.e. the media houses or legacy media of South Africa, are trying very hard to make the ANC look good. Why? Because there's an election coming up. But I gotta admit, I'm not buying it, and I smell something very fishy. This is just a theory, but I think that the government is trying to use load shedding as a campaign gimmick. Like, look at us, we're fixing load shedding, so vote for us. Hoping we forget that the ANC is the whole reason why we have load shedding in the first place. Also, just in case you guys forgot, load shedding is not the only problem in South Africa. It's not the only result of the ANC failure. Just have a look at some of these headlines. Children at almost 200 Eastern Cape schools still use dangerous pit latrines, public protector fines. Transnet collapse threatens entire South African economy. Our rail system is almost non-existent. Over 1,200 businesses have shut their doors in South Africa this year alone. Joburg Water wants to implement water shifting to mitigate supply changes. We're now having load shedding for water. The latest crime stats of South Africa, everything you need to know. And trust me, you probably don't want to know, because right now in South Africa, there's an average of 68 murders a day. And that's just murders. That's without petty crimes, robberies, cash in transit heists, you name it, hijacks. The crime rate is through the roof in South Africa. And I didn't mention the other issues that we have in South Africa with agriculture, hospitals, roads, you name it. There's so much more. There's even headlines that say there's no progress made on South African problems. And this is just the tip of the ANC problematic iceberg. Load shedding is definitely a huge problem in South Africa, but it's not the only problem. And it's a bit too little too late for the ANC to start fixing things now. But there's one more thing I want to remind you of. Let's not forget what the ANC put us through during lockdown. And if you want to be reminded, please check out this video linked in the description below, where it shows the first 6 months of what we went through. I'm sure watching it back now, some of the stuff will shock you. My point is, we mustn't forget what the ANC has done to us. Don't let them misguide you with progress. I'm willing to bet that the moment the ANC realizes that they've won in 2024, load shedding will be back and probably worse than ever before. If we want real change and prosperity in South Africa, we need to all say Futsek ANC in 2024. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd really like to hear from you. Don't forget to also check out my stand-up comedy special, Crossing the Borders. It was directed by Barry Hilton. You can watch the entire show, the first run of that show, on this channel for free. Link is in the description. And speaking of content, if you enjoyed this content, you might enjoy these videos. Don't forget to also like this video, share it far and wide, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I've got more content coming your way. And with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.